Alright, now it's party time. Excellent! With Wayne's World! Wayne's World! As you may recall, last year I reviewed Wayne's World. Now let's talk about its sole sequel, which is celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. Wayne's World 2, dude. This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Yeah! So greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Dual Bear, known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1993 comedy flick Wayne's World 2, released by Paramount, directed by Steven Surgic, starring Mike Myers and Dana Carvey back as Wayne and Garth, the hosts of a public access television cable show in Aurora, Illinois. The sequel to the film of Wayne's World from the previous year. This was actually released this day, December 10th, 1993. Henceforth, today's 30th anniversary of this film, after its predecessor was released almost 2 years prior. Of course, it's adapted from the Saturday Night Live sketch of the same name. Before I get into this story, if you haven't seen my review of the first film, check out right now as I show you the point to that card that'll take you to the Wayne's World review in case you might have missed it, or see it again if you'd like. So I'm just going to say this one is just going to be another fun one. Okay, here we go. Rock and roll fans Wayne Campbell and Garth Algar now host their public access TV show Wayne's World from an abandoned doll factory and Wayne's new home in Aurora, Illinois. Wayne, Garth, and two of their co-workers attend an Aerosmith concert, with Wayne and Garth having backstage passes. They meet up with Wayne's girlfriend Cassandra, lead singer and bassist of the band Crucial Taunt, and are introduced to her new producer, Bobby Kahn. The duo is then denied further access backstage in spite of having passes. That night, Wayne has a dream in which he meets Jim Morrison and a weird naked Indian in a desert. Morrison convinces Wayne that his destiny is to organize a major music festival, so Wayne and Garth dub the concert Waynestock, a pun on Woodstock, and hire a former roadie, Dale Preston. Their early attempts to sign bands like Aerosmith, plus Pearl Jam, and Van Halen are mentioned off the cuff by Wayne, and sell tickets fail, and Wayne wonders if the endeavor is futile. Bobby tries to pull Cassandra away from Illinois and Wayne and have her move to LA. Wayne becomes suspicious of Bobby's ulterior motives and spies on them while they are having lunch. Wayne is spied by them and flees with Garth and their friends while Bobby gives chase. Wayne and company are able to evade Bobby after performing an impromptu performance of the Village People's YMCA in a gay club. After Wayne later admits he was spying on her, Cassandra breaks up with him and becomes engaged to Bobby. Wayne becomes more determined to make Waynestock a success in order to get Cassandra back. In the meantime, Garth meets a beautiful woman named Honey. Later, she attempts to manipulate Garth into killing her ex-husband, but Garth ends the relationship. Yep, crazy. Alright, I'm going for the final at the ending right now, alright? So, as always, you have 5 seconds to stop this video, go to the description box below, and fast forward to the time below. If you've seen the movie already, please continue once the time's over. Here we go now. Okay, you've been warned. Tickets are sold for Waynestock, but no bands arrive, leaving Garth to keep the rowdy crowd in check while Wayne disrupts Cassandra's wedding before escaping the ceremony with her, and they get back together in a scene closely resembling the finale of The Graduate. Meanwhile, Garth is having a stage fright during the concert, and the crowd grows impatient. Wayne returns to find the bands have still not arrived. In another desert dream, Wayne and Garth consult Morrison, who says that the bands will not come and that all that matters is they tried. Unable to return to Waynestock, they become lost in the desert and begin to die of thirst. Finding this unacceptable, Wayne and Garth react to the ending of Thelma and Louise, driving their car off a cliff while trying to find the bands. Finally, Wayne and Garth admit that they just have to end the film with a standard happy ending, in which the bands arrive and Waynestock is a success. Morrison tells Wayne that he needed to organize Waynestock to learn that Cassandra loves him for who he is. And also that adulthood requires one to take responsibility while being able to find fun in life. Bobby arrives to Waynestock to pursue Cassandra, but is prevented from entering. And that would be the end of the story. Or, how should I say, is it? Well, sort of. In a mid-credit scene, the entire park is covered with trash after the concert. And the weird naked Indian begins to cry, but he cheers up when Wayne and Garth promise to clean up. And that, my friends, is end of the story. So what did I think of Wayne's World 2? Well, it's fun and all. I mean, it's almost about as fun as the first one got, but just a little more crazier and what have you. I like the idea of them trying to fix up a little bit of a concert and what have you. Really, really crazy. Well, apparently, when the production started, Penelope Spheris, who directed the predecessor to this, believed that Myers encouraged the studio not to have her back for the sequel due to personality conflicts with him during the making of the first film. So she went on to direct another TV to big screen adaptation, which was The Beverly Hillbillies, which came out a few months before this that same year. I know I didn't review that film, but next year you will get a review. Instead was replaced by Stephen Surjik, who would later go on to work on the Marvel TV series of Daredevil and the Punisher, as well as Netflix's The Umbrella Academy and The Witcher as well. Now, the original script for this had Wayne and Garth forming their own country and succeeding from the U.S. after finding an ancient scroll in a story taken from the 1949 British comedy Passport to Pimlico. This version was well into pre-production before it came to light that the studio had no idea the script was based on a previous film and thus had not obtained the rights to that film. And production was halted instantly, and Surjik said, "I could hear the chainsaws literally chopping the sets down." And a studio executive was furious with Myers and threatened to ruin his life and career if he did not immediately produce a new script. Oh, Lord. But soon they finally got it and what have you, and so they managed to get it with a more fun little script. Anyway, the film received mixed to positive reviews like the first film did. The film currently sits at 60% on Rotten Tomatoes, just barely hanging on to Fresh by a thread. They say the characters are still endearing, but the jokes in the film are more hit and miss the second time around. Well, that's true. Some of the jokes can be hit or miss, but the characters are still very good and what have you. The film was intended to be a Christmas season blockbuster. It didn't receive the box office intake nor positive fan reaction its predecessor got. It made $48 million in the US and Canada and $24 million overseas for an over worldwide total of $72 million, much less than the $180 million its predecessor got. And not only that, it faced stiff competition from other blockbusters that came out right about the time our dad was out, including Mrs. Doubtfire, Schindler's List, and The Pelican Brief. So it made $72 million against its $40 million budget. So it still did okay. In 2006, DirecTV began a series of commercials in which characters from popular movies and TV shows break the fourth wall to tout the service's picture quality and the number of channels available in high definition. Incredible. Instead of using CGI, the original actors normally reprise their roles on recreated sets, and resulting footage is mixed with the original scenes. Incredible, huh? Yeah. Now, they had Carter Burwell on board to do the score for the film, which was pretty good and what have you. Its soundtrack was released on Reprise Records, who also released the soundtrack for its predecessor. It included Robert Plant's cover of Louie Louie and lots of other songs, including it had lots of other songs there, including Edgar Winter's Frankenstein, Golden Earrings, Radar Love, and of course Joan Jett, the Black Arts classic I Love Rock and Roll. Plus, there's also the live versions of Dude Looks Like a Lady and Shut Up and Dance by Aerosmith. And the soundtrack didn't quite sell as well as its predecessor Ear, and it only went gold in Canada. Oh well. Still, the music's still pretty good. Now, as for our cast, Mike Myers and Dana Carvey once again nail it as Wayne and Garth. They are absolutely, really hysterical. Tia Carrere returns as Cassandra. She's good. Christopher Walken plays Bobby Kahn, and I'm going to say he was a pretty good villain. Kevin Pollak's on board as Jerry Siegel. Ralph Brown played Del Preston. Now, Jeff Wong, Cassandra's father, is played by James Hong, while Jim Downey did the dubbed voice of him. Kim Basinger played Honey Horney. And another SNL alumni, the late great Chris Farley, appears as Milton, a nameless friend of Wayne Garth. Also, Ed O'Neill's back as Glenn, the guy who works at the donut shop. There's lots of other people as well, including Drew Barrymore and even Charlton Heston. Jay Leno and Hare Locklear and Aerosmith appear as themselves, and also funny guy Rip Taylor. Yeah. Absolutely, really funny. There's also Ted McGinley, who I remember from Revenge of the Nerds, and Tim Meadows, another SNL alumni. Harry Shearer, who you may know as the voice of Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. Yeah, really a pretty good cast and what have you. So, anywho, I'm going to say Wayne's World 2 was fine, what have you. It's not quite, well, it almost comes close to as good as its predecessor, but again, as I've said before, the jokes are kind of hit or miss. But overall, it was still a fun-filled experience, though. And unlike the first film, they only went with did one different ending and what have you, not a few other endings like they did in the first one. So overall, with everything said, would I recommend Wayne's World 2? I'd say sure, go ahead, give it a try. But I would say play it safe and give it a one-time watch first, okay? If you are a hardcore completionist, since this was the only sole sequel to Wayne's World. So anyway, what did you think of Wayne's World 2? Let me know in the comment section below. If you liked the video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Now, I have 2 videos come tomorrow, but I've decided to go with James and the Giant Peach next, okay? And then we'll go on to Jack Frost from 1998. So if you liked this, you may want to consider checking out my reviews for some of these other films. In the upper left-hand corner, if you want a little more Mike Myers, see my review of Austin Powers and Goldmember, the 3rd installment. Now, I plan to re-review the first 2 films soon, I promise. Or, if you would like a little more of Christopher Walken, you can see my reviews for these 2 films he was a part of. In the upper right-hand corner is my re-review of Batman Returns, and the bottom left-hand corner is my review of Wedding Crashers. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya!